Welcome back to Season 3 of Expedition Bigfoot. I'm your host Aggie.
And I'm Emma Holmes. In this exciting episode, we start out with Russell, who hears a noise outside his camp. He crawls outside his camp to see what is making all the ruckus, but cannot find it. He believes it was 10 feet away, and from the breathing it was large. He becomes upset that he has been compromised, and now the Bigfoot knows his location, and he will need to find a new location.
Bryce talks to a witness named Keith. He is a former military member who has been through a lot of hardship, as you may call it in the military, but this was his hardest challenge, according to Bryce. He tells the tale about a friend and him hiking, and their last night they play a whistling game, kinda like hide and seek. One person hides and whistles, whilst making his way back to camp. The other tries to find him before he makes it back to camp. When they arrived back at camp, a shadowy figure stood up with the moon to its back and was around 3 feet wide and 8 feet tall. It just stood there looking at them for around 5 minutes.
Ronnie and Maria search the river where the fish trap was spotted. While looking up into the woods, they hear rocks falling again. They put up camera traps to find out what they are seeing. The next morning, they find nothing on the camera traps, and Ronnie is upset and disappointed that nothing was found or spotted. Maria says they still have more time and it may take more than one night to find anything.
Russell is walking down a river. As he leaves the stream, he bends over. In the background, there was a shadow on the trees moving. Russell believes there is something on the ridgeline. It appears to be bipedal. They send the video to Bryce, who believes it may be shadow people. He talks briefly about the Muckleshoot Nation, whose name means from a high point from which you can see, and their story of shadow people. He then talks about the Nalusophilaea, a frightening creature of Choctaw mythology. Its name literally means long black being, and though it is usually described as a tall spindly humanoid, it is sometimes said to slither like a snake or melt into the form of a shadow. It lurks in the long shadows around dusk, frightening children from staying out too late and occasionally bewitching incautious hunters. Later, while walking, Russell hears a noise on the ridgeline and wants to investigate. He says the river is making too much noise for him to hear his surroundings. Then he hears rocks falling again. Since the ravine is too steep for him to climb, he is forced to spend the night there.
Ronnie and Maria are still walking while it's getting dark to get to the ridge. Maria wants to pursue it in order to see if it's real or to actually see what is making the noises. They are 2 to 3 miles down the river. Ronnie and Maria split up, but want to get to the top of the ridge to find out what the figure was that they seen the day before. They make it to the top of the ridge, but there is a 50-foot drop. Ronnie believes the figure was stalking them all night long from this vantage point. He says it had to be really big. They bring the speaker system with all-edged Bigfoot howls and play the howls. They hear a faint sound and then some noises in the bushes. The sounds are making them all nervous-like. Ronnie thinks Bigfoot heading towards the river. Maria then calls it a night because of the terrain and the density of the forest may make it dangerous for them. Later, when they arrive at the camp, they hear more noises. Ronnie thinks Bigfoot is watching them and throwing rocks. While pointing their flashlight across the river, they see a shadow on the rocks that appears to run and disappear. Ronnie says it's bipedal.
Meanwhile, Bryce heads back to the lake to make whistling sounds in an effort to pique Bigfoot's curiosity. Chimpanzees and orangutans have been known to whistle in an effort to communicate. After whistling a few bars, he hears footsteps in the distance, then like a rock being thrown against a tree. Then branches begging to break. He tries, but does not pick up anything on his thermal. Then he hears noise similar to his whistle. After looking, he states that there is no way to get to the other side of the lake, at least for that night. He then says they are not alone at the lake. That will do it for today. I hope you will come back next week. I'm Aggie Flores.
And I'm Emma Holmes. I hope to see you next week. Have a blessed week.
Thank you for watching. As always, please subscribe to our channel. Please like, comment, subscribe and share. See you next week.